Good morning everybody, and welcome to the sixth video from here, Effingham Golf Club. Hope we're finding all our members safe and well, and it's getting a bit of a struggle this lockdown now, but hopefully we've got some light coming at the end of the tunnel soon and we can get you back up on this beautiful golf course of yours, which I'm sure you're all missing very much. We're certainly missing you guys. Still staying busy, crew. We're now just into maintenance routines now. Lots of mowing, of course, and still pushing the greens along because we've done that very deep tining earlier on, which is fantastic to be able to do it. But it does knock the greens back a little bit, so they're coming good now. But it's been a long time to pull them out with the drought as well. Even though we do irrigate, like I said before, it's not as good as the good old rainwater. And we've only had about 45 mil of that this spring coming into summer, so we do need to drop more rain, that is for sure. So while we're on that, here we are at the reservoir at the Third. Now this is a very important area for us, more so than ever now. Water is going to be the next big thing in golf courses. It's very precious. We're going to have to fight to keep it in the future, I should think. The reason we lost all our pesticides is because of this stuff behind, and our drinking water. Parts per million every time they go to recycle our water at the waterworks around the world. They are finding parts per million a lot more pesticides and insecticides in there. So this is why the ban in chemicals has been so hard and so fast. So back to this, 2006 I believe the reservoir was constructed under the watchful eye of John Spencer, a member, a past captain who you may know. And it's been a great asset. It is a great asset, and it's one we manage, and we're very lucky to have at this moment in time. We fill this up via borehole and rainwater. The rainwater we harvest. It comes through the yard, and you can see in the pictures of the reed bed, and there's some pictures coming up now of the construction of it. But we also have to top it up every now and then with tap water, drinking water, which we run through the yard. I'm sure you've seen the blue pipe in past summers. Hopefully we've got a second borehole installed, and that's going to be under test soon, and hopefully we'll be able to yield enough water out of that one that we can be more self-sufficient in the future. So the reservoir, very important. It's also became a little ecological hotspot, which you would expect from areas like this. Being on a downland, it's very rare to find a body of water unless they are man-made like this. So with this we get reptiles, we get grass snakes, good habitat for the grass snakes. They're called grass snakes, believe it or not. They do need to be near water. They're more water snakes than grass snakes. And we've got a few of them appearing now. We have that elusive kingfisher. He's a bit like that owl up in that box. Trust me, the kingfisher is here, but I have never had the camera out when he's landed, and you've got to be very quick to get a picture of a kingfisher. But if you're ever at the Third, have a look across. He usually perches on that miles sign. Miles does not mean the depth of the reservoir, by the way. That is the company who constructed the reservoir. The reservoir is 7 meters deep at its deepest point, and it holds 14,500 cubic meters of water, which, as long as we can replenish as we're using it, should be sufficient for the future of this golf course. It takes an awful lot of management. We're always worried about algae in here, weed build up. Remember, it is primarily a source of water, and we have to have the water in good quality condition before we can put it on the green. So it's a place we visit quite often. You'll often see us here. We test it ourselves. We can have professionals test it. So it is a great asset, but it's one that needs looking after. And as I said, the diversity of wildlife we've got out of it is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to move on to some videos now. I'm going to talk about the trees, woodland management, some of the animals, a bit of ecology, a bit of a flora and fauna walk. Those who do come on the flora and fauna walk with me, you'll learn a little bit more. Those who haven't been, we'll try and get one in this year. I'm sure we can. Please come along. It's fantastic to come and have a look in the long grass and in the woods, and just see what else is on the golf course other than the fairways and the actual golf course itself. We're on a fantastic site here, very special site, and we're very lucky to have all the flora and fauna we do, and a lot of it being very rare. But we'll move on to a couple of more videos now, and we'll talk about other aspects of the golf course. Take care. So as some of you are aware, looking at this picture, last year we became finalists in an Ecology award run by the STRI. This is a national award, and we got into the top 5, and we're very proud of that. And That's a picture of Steve and myself going up to Harrogate in January to go and go to the award ceremony. And that's us collecting our runners-up bits and pieces, which I'm so proud of, and it's well done to everybody at the club who supported us on that. Anyway, let's move on. This is a video, we're going up to the 6 now. This is the 6 woods. On the left hand side you play the hole. This is our big project this winter we did. This is clearing it out. It's been very successful. It's not just about cutting the trees down, of course. It's all about finishing underneath, rotivating, seeding, and as you can see from this video, where the seed's coming up quite nicely. As per usual, we could have done a little bit more rain. Talking about that seeded area, we've put a lot of fescue grass seed down. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to just be lush fescue through there for a long time. The difference is the soil we used, it is not sterile soil, it's just the soil of the woodland. There's going to be an awful lot of seed in there from trees, from plants, from weeds, which we'll establish fairly quick, so the grass has to compete with that. We will win the battle by mowing it each year. We'll mow it down, and eventually these weeds will start disappearing and the shoots from old roots will disappear and the grass will establish, but this will be over a period of time. This is not a 5-minute thing, maybe 2 or 3 years before we see that. But the woodland management, why do we do it? Well, we do it primarily for the air and light. We talked about that in an earlier video. We couldn't use that as much an excuse for this time. This is just basically woodland management. Over the years, very poor woodland management. And as you know from that photograph we've got, there wasn't hardly any trees here, if any trees here in 1927, only around the clubhouse and the hedgerows. So most trees here have come up over the years. And we need managing, the woods need managing, and that is what we do here. We do not do it on ourselves. The decision is made by the Greens Committee of what we want to do and what we'd like to do, and then we work under the Forestry Commission. We have to apply for licenses. We cannot cut anything down here unless we've applied for a license. And they grant us a license, they come up and see us. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of paperwork behind the scenes before we even start. They will take a visit. We have a very good rapport with them. We've done good woodland management over the years, and they're very pleased what we do. So some of it can just be done with emails, over the phone, but big jobs like this, there is a visit and the guy will come up, and or the lady, and they will dot trees or tell us what they can do and what we can't do. That will apply to hedgerows. We are not allowed to touch any of our hedgerows. You can't remove hedgerows, they're protected. We can do what we did with the one up the 11th, where we just got it back to a hedgerow that's manageable, but that was an awful lot of planning again, and that was a 5-minute decision. The woodland management, as you know, we've been doing it for a long time here, since I've been here, and we're just trying to get the Downland golf course back to Downlands. The North Downs are heavily wooded. They were planted with woods in years gone by. The South Downs was still grazing. That's why if you go to the South Downs, you don't see many trees on them. But the North Downs was actually used for industry, and this is where all our woodlands have come. So even though we are on Downland, we're not as true Downland open as you'll see on the South Downs, but we are still on the chalk, which makes us a Downland golf course. Ash dieback, we're all aware of ash dieback. We've had it here. Ash dieback came from found in about 2012 around Kew Gardens, I think. A disease that has come in from Holland again. Awful lot of plants are imported from Holland. They're the main suppliers, unchecked, and these diseases are coming in from all over the world. It sounds familiar at this moment in time. And ash dieback is another version of that. We've got it quite bad at the golf course, or so is the whole of south of England. Ash dieback, it does affect the ash only, and it's called dieback because it usually starts at the tip of the branches. You start seeing them die back. Here at Effingham Golf Club, we have numbered every one of our ash trees. You will see a silver tag on them. Tony Heron, the Greens chairman, has developed a risk sheet which we fill in, we monitor, and this is how we monitor our trees. This is where we decide they are going to be cut down or not. We do a survey against each number. They have a risk number from 1 to 12, 12 being serious, they need to come down, and 1 is no, they're okay, we'll just monitor it. So anything with a high number is taken down. We will tell to most of these trees in-house. There's an awful lot of woodland management we cannot do in-house, just through safety, risk. We need professionals, and that is when we get outside contractors. You can see in some of the pictures now, we use local contractors where we can to carry out this work for us. So the woodland management is, we have a whole document about it. It's a separate part of the winter programme, and there is an awful lot of effort put into it. So we do not cut trees down willy-nilly. And woodland management is not just about cutting trees down, it's about replanting trees. Now, the reason we've got a lot of problems with our trees was back in 1973 with the Dutch elm disease. So many trees were lost that they had a slogan, plant a tree in 73, and then it carried on to plant some more in 74, which was a great idea, but this was done without any forethought on sites, and hence we ended up with flowering cherries, plums, the dreaded fir trees we had everywhere, which we took down, especially at the first fairway. You'll all remember those. So we're slowly getting the golf course back to the trees which you'd expect to see out here, and we have a very large variety of trees out here, and I will now go through some of them we've got with some pictures for you. So moving on to the trees, we've got some magnificent oak trees around the course. These are ones down by the clubhouse, of course. We have silver birch, quite a common tree around the area, and we have a few of these still. Around the course, we have the Holmes oak, the evergreen oak, this one up by the 12th. Our hedgerows are full of hawthorn, blackthorn, whitethorn, and also hazel. Great hedgerow plants. Acer, we have a couple of these around the course. This is the one by the 10th. We have magnificent copper beech trees. They are beautiful trees without doubt. And we have the hornbeam. These are the ones up by the 3rd and the 16th. We also have white beam. Pine trees, numerous pine trees. I mean, this is behind the 13th, very good for the wildlife. And we have red acers as well, beautiful trees. So numerous trees. That is just a small example of what we have there. Let's move on to some insect life. It's far too big just to talk about in this video, but we have numerous bees, of course. We have common lizards. We have the grass snake of what we talked about earlier on. We have slow worms, of course. We have a good head of slow worms. We got the newt around the pond. Very good to see. Numerous butterflies and moths. We have the brimstone butterflies. Lots of these. We have the blues, the Donis blue butterflies. You'll see plenty of them coming out soon. And we have the peacock butterfly, which was out earlier on this year. That's just a small example. Flowers, beautiful orchids we're blessed with. Bee orchids, dragon orchids, butterfly orchids, numerous orchids. We have got a list of them, of what's been found over the years, and we can talk more of that when we do an ecology walk for those who are interested. Our meadows are full of wildflower. We're very blessed with it, and some only specifically found on downland soil, of course, being the soil is very poor. Some of these flowers thrive on it like the orchids. They like very poor soil. We've also put in some wildflower meadows around and about, and that is just trying to encourage it. It's such important habitat for insects, and of course you have the insects, it brings all the bigger stuff in. Bigger stuff, here we are. We have a deer which was found in the neighbour's garden, not very well. We took it to the wildlife hospital a while ago, but it didn't make it. We used the wildlife hospital a few times before now. They're very good down in Leatherhead. We've taken owls and all sorts, and they're a great setup. We got a camera run at night, and you got some footage here of badgers. All look very cute. There's the mums with youngsters that have been this year's youngsters, 4 by the looks of it. They all look very cute now, but remember they can do an awful lot of damage to the course. They go worming at night and bugs, and they will dig forever to get them. We've also got a couple of deer come out one morning. He's a roe deer, obviously molting by the looks of it. That's what their shabby coat looks, and he's obviously itchy with it. We've got numerous deer around the course. They will go in the woods in the daytime and come out in the evenings and early mornings to graze. Get all sorts on these cameras. We've had pheasants, foxes, even they pick up little voles and mice. So they're very useful. They're great fun, these cameras, for really not a lot of money. You can get some really good footage of them. I hope you found this interesting. It was very, very short really for Ecology. It's a massive site. It's a very special site, like I say. We're on that downland is very precious. It's full of rare wildlife and rare plants. And if we do an Ecology walk, please come along. We can go a little bit more in depth, and we can have a fun evening as long as the weather's right. Anyway, stay safe, everybody. Look after yourselves, and let's get you back here as soon as we can. We're ready for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.